How's it going, YouTube? Alex Carlson here, and welcome to Gentleman Tech, your one-stop shop for all things tech from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Now, about a week ago, I released a video talking about switching to the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, and how I've been an avid iPhone user for years and years and years. So much so that I actually have a minor collection of Apple accessory boxes that I've just kept around just because. Now, when switching to the Samsung Galaxy S10, I went in it with an open mind, just as I did a year ago with the Google Pixel 2. There are things that Apple is currently doing with its ecosystem, with its hardware and its software, insert iOS 11 here, that I have not been a fan of. Of course, over the years, Apple changes just as everything else does. Sometimes change sucks. Sometimes we don't like change, so we do things differently. We do what Apple told us to do, and we think differently. We try different things. And as someone who is very enthused with technology and smartphones specifically, I always open my mind to different horizons. I'll switch to the Samsung Galaxy S10. Last year I switched to the Google Pixel 2. I'm very open to different software, and different hardware. I might be biased about Apple, and I might be biased about iOS, but at the same time, I'm open to the fact that there are different options out there. Options that could probably benefit my life a little differently. Maybe better. But in acknowledging these differences, in acknowledging the fact that I am open to difference, I have also secluded myself to feel comfortable and familiar and happy with what I've used for years, that being iOS and Apple-based devices. So the purpose of this video is kind of a sad slum moment, as tomorrow I will be returning the Galaxy S10 Plus. But I'm not returning it because it's a bad phone. Last time, when I talked about doing a review of the S10 Plus, I did a brief description on why I wanted to switch, what made the phone good. But I'm going to go into detail here. From my perspective, what makes the Galaxy S10 still the phone to beat in 2019. The phone that set the bar and set the standard that everybody else has to either beat, match, or get close to. And why I, as an Apple user, will be going back to Apple. And none of them are negative. None of them are like drawbacks to the Galaxy S10. So disclaimer, if you're a Samsung or Android user and you're watching this thinking, okay, here's an Apple guy who's just going to trash all over Samsung or Android. I'm not. Samsungs have better displays. They've got to the point where they have better memory and power management, expandable storage, reverse wireless charging. The list goes on and on about what makes Android devices, and specifically Samsung devices, more revolutionary than Apple. But nonetheless, enough talking about what this video is going to be about. Let's just get right into it. My name is Alex Carlson. Welcome to Gentleman Tech. And this is the Galaxy S10 Plus, 1 week later. Why I'm switching back to Apple, and why it isn't Samsung's fault. So let's get right down to business here. The Samsung Galaxy S10. When I picked up the Galaxy S10 a week ago, I was picking it up because I was frustrated with Apple. I was frustrated with Apple not based upon any new things that they've come out with that irked me. Software-wise, iOS 11 came out in 2017. No, yeah, 2017, my apologies, 2017. iOS 12 came out in 2018 to fix the things that were wrong with it, and you know what? It did just that, and I applaud Apple for that. I wasn't switching to Samsung out of spite for Apple. I was switching to Samsung because I'm an enthusiast of technology, specifically smartphones. And when it came to the Samsung Galaxy S10, or in my case the S10 Plus, I saw a lot of evolution in the design, in the hardware, and the software. When you go down the specification sheet for the Galaxy S10, it's a powerhouse. 8 gigabytes of RAM, a Snapdragon 855 processor. You've got that the QHD Super AMOLED Plus display. Oh, of course they call it the Infinity O display. But you have that new branded display, which is really sharp and it looks amazing. You got the triple lens camera system on the back, 212 megapixels and a 16 megapixel wide angle lens. And on the front, you have the dual lens camera setup, even though one of them is really just a depth sensor. But it functions kind of like a second camera, and it's really cool. And of course, the new revolutionary design, Samsung, credit to them, they avoided the notch. They never dove into that category. They skipped it, they used the S9 and the small bezels, and the S10 came out with the Infinity O display. And I'll be honest, comparing a notch to the Infinity O display, the Infinity O display with the small hole punch, or in my case, the pill punch, is amazing. It's perfect. You barely notice it's ever there, and you don't have to worry about, okay, if I crunch this off, I'm going to be missing 10% of my screen. You're going to be missing a small little corner that probably isn't going to hold any important information. You're going to be okay. The Samsung Galaxy S10 is an amazing device. It's clean, it's smooth, it functions like a powerhouse, the battery life is astonishing. It is the phone to beat in 2019. So why am I switching back to Apple? If I can be honest, it's because I have long history with Apple. A very long history. This is my first ever iPhone. The iPhone 4, running iOS 6. It doesn't work, and obviously I can't use it as a daily driver. iOS 6 isn't supported anymore by any software developers out there, not even Apple itself, and if I was to update this phone to iOS 7, it would lack so many features and functionalities that the modern phones have. It just wouldn't be worth it. Battery life would be trash, power would be trash, it wouldn't be enjoyable, but I keep it because nostalgia. So I'm going back to the iPhone because, for me, for what I do, Apple is perfect. They might not have the most revolutionary design, and they might not have the best displays, the best features, the most open-sourced OS in mobile history, but it does what I need it to do. I'm a musician, and having GarageBand at my fingertips anywhere I go to quickly jack something down or record something is amazing. I have an album out right now, well, a couple songs out, Artificial, Colors, Dancing in the Rain. They're all on Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon. Check them out if you want. Look up Alex Carlson. But I did those on GarageBand, on my phone, and they were good enough to be released, and people like them, and I like them. Having access to GarageBand is wonderful. The cameras, they might not be as detailed or as crisp as the Galaxy S10, but they capture what I need. And as a photographer, I use a Nikon D3400 as it is for actual photo needs. I don't use my phone as a professional aspect. I use it as kind of a hobby. Oh, yeah, here we go. Cool things. I got a picture. And last but not least, the iPod. Well, yes, Apple Music is the iPod, and Apple Music is both on Spotify, both on Android and on iOS. There's a big difference between the Apple Music on iOS and the Apple Music on Android. You get a more punchy sound, as I can describe it, on Apple, on iPhones, on iOS devices, and that could just be me. It's a built-in systematic app that uses every piece of your phone's software and every piece of your phone's hardware to utilize itself. For me, it's just good. But enough about why I like Apple, and enough about what's good about the Samsung Galaxy S10. Let's break it down so we don't go over a crazy 12-minute mark here. The Galaxy S10 is amazing. It's an amazing phone with amazing hardware, backed by amazing software, and the new One UI system that Samsung has developed is incredible. It is as close as you can get to stock Android without running stock Android. Of course, while using this, I'm a stock Android fan, I downloaded a launcher that you can download right now. It's called the Rootless Launcher. Now, anybody who wants the original Google setup on their phone, like the Pixel devices or any other Android device, if you try to download the Google Launcher, or the Google Home, or anything like that, it won't let you. It will say it's not compatible. Thank you, Samsung. But you can use this Rootless Launcher to turn your phone into the stock Google Android experience, and I've been using it and it works great. While One UI is wonderful, it does have its flaws. It does tend to lag. And for a phone with 8 gigabytes of RAM, that was kind of surprising to me. My iPhone didn't lag. And I had an iPhone 10. It was 2 years old at this point, which is crazy to think about. Well, yes, the display is beautiful, amazing, captivating, brilliant, in my mind, in my opinion. I don't need that much display. I don't need that much screen ratio. I just don't. I wish I did, but I don't. It's a really amazing phone with really amazing tech behind it. In my opinion, if you're thinking about switching from iOS to Android, get the S10 Plus. Just because it wasn't right for me does not mean it's not right for you. If you're somebody who wants something different, something refreshing, something that feels modern, go to the Galaxy S10. The S10 is everything you could ever want in a modern 2019 smartphone. With no restrictions, no limits. They didn't hold anything back. And that's what kind of sets Android apart from Apple. That's what sets Samsung specifically apart from Apple. But at the end of the day, I'm going back to Apple. Not because the Samsung Galaxy S10 is a bad phone. If anything, it's one of the best phones I've ever used in my life. It runs buttery smooth for the most part, amazing cameras, amazing software, backed by amazing hardware, revolutionary Infinity O display, Super AMOLED Plus, reverse wireless charging. It does it all. For me, it just wasn't the phone I needed. I wanted the phone that, well, I'm gonna lie, I want this phone, I really do want this phone. But for what I do in my day-to-day life, it's not what I need. So the bottom line is the Galaxy S10 and S10 Plus and even the S10e, they're amazing devices. They're perfect. They are the bottom line of 2019. If you want to make a phone in 2019, step up your game and get this phone. But for me, I'm going back to the iPhone 8. For cost, for what I need, for something compact, because I realized, joke time, you're gonna laugh, my jeans are way too damn tight for my body size, my body type, and I choose to use a gigantic smartphone that's way too big. Yeah, personal problems. Back to what I was saying. So I'm going back to the iPhone 8 just because it's simplistic and it's what I need. Now, of course, a new phone will come out in the future, and I guarantee you I'll be enthused to try it out, and you'll expect another video kind of like when I released beforehand. But to be honest, regardless if I like iPhone, regardless if you like Android, regardless of whatever any YouTuber ever says, get the phone that's best for you. We, as YouTubers, might give you advice. We might tell you what's good about a phone. We might tell you why we think this is the best. Like, I think Apple is the best phone. You could totally disagree with that. You know what? That's perfectly okay. Samsung or Android or Google might do exactly what you need, and I encourage you to keep doing that, because this world is not about agreeing. It's about conversations. And here on Gentleman Tech, I like to have conversations with you people. Those of you who watch my videos, that is. I like to converse about tech, about opinions, about what you like about devices or what you don't like. And in my opinion, that's kind of what just makes the technology scene amazing. You know, you got great YouTubers that inspired myself to make videos. You got MKBHD, you got Unbox Therapy, you got Saki Tech. Saki Tech is really, really good. You got Jerry Rig Everything. Jerry Rig Everything, he kind of does more teardown videos, but they're amazing. You got amazing tech reviewers on this platform, and they all have different opinions. For a while there, MKBHD, he was a hard Google Pixel pusher. Unbox Therapy, well, you really never know what he's going to pull out of his hat. But, you know, he's unbiased. We all have different opinions. But the nice thing is, so do you. So the bottom line, the Samsung Galaxy S9 was good. The Galaxy S10 Plus, the Galaxy S10 and the Galaxy S10e are the phones to beat in 2019. They set the bar, they set the standard, they are the standard. For me, iPhone is still the way to go. But not because Samsung is bad, but because it's too good. Too good for me. So my name is Alex Carlson. Thank you for watching Gentleman Tech, your one-stop tech shop for everything from yesterday, today, tomorrow. And I will see you next time. Stay genty.